So I've been hearing a lot about the guaranteed money narrative. And myself and Jay Stu have gone back and forth a little bit on Twitter regarding the guaranteed money narrative from Felger and the other guys from 2 to 6. Let me first say this. Nobody knows the exact guaranteed money offered. Nobody knows that. So we can play this game. We can say, well, we don't know the guaranteed money, so I'm going to say that they didn't put a lot of guaranteed money on the table. I could say, well, we don't know the guaranteed money. I think they put a lot of guaranteed money on the table. What you've got to do is you've got to string together all the reports that you read from different spots, whether it's national, local, radio, TV, and you put together all of that information and you come up with a reasonable, educated conclusion. Every report that I have read, every single one, has said the Patriots offered more money than anybody else. Matt Mayoko in the Bay Area said it. Mike Reese here said it. As a matter of fact, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, he came out a few weeks ago and said that the Patriots offered, quote, top-tier guaranteed money, unquote. Top-tier guaranteed money. Well, what's the number? Again, nobody knows the exact number. But are any of these people saying that the money wasn't top tier? Any of these legitimate, credible reporters saying that the guaranteed money wasn't top tier? Every single one of them agree on this. You just heard Burt Breer say. You just heard it from Burt Breer's lips that he was told, quote unquote, flat out, that if the deal was just about the money, New England would have won on every level. Every level. Average annual value, and guarantees. It's time to put this to bed. It's time to tell the truth. It's time to live in reality. Yes, the Patriots were at the bottom of the league in spending for 20 years. Nobody can deny that. Nobody is denying that they messed around and screwed around with contract structure the vast majority of the years that Bill Belichick was here running the ship. And if Robert Kraft is the one that's messing around with the structure, nobody is going to argue that. This is a different conversation. It's a different regime with different people, different philosophies, different approaches. But I'm sure that my buddy Felge will move the goalposts again, because what he will say is that, oh, well, Burt Breer got that from the Patriots. That's the other way you can play these games, right? Oh, well, doesn't matter what Burt Breer said, because that's obviously the Patriots leaking that. So why do we believe other people when they leak information, but we don't believe the Patriots when they leak information? Is that because when some people leak information that doesn't help your argument, that you don't want to use that information, but you'll use the information that was leaked that does actually help and support your argument? Is that what's going on? Burt Breer is a credible reporter who's worked at multiple big-time outlets. And he just told you, flat out, the Patriots offered the most money, including guarantees. Just like Jeremy Fowler said at ESPN, another top-notch journalist who is incredibly believable and has all the credibility that you would want. So let's just use some deductive reasoning and some logic here. And I'm just looking at the Wolf regime. I'm not looking at Bill Belichick's regime. I do not evaluate what Elliot Wolf does based off what Bill Belichick did, because they're two different people. Elliot Wolf officially ran this ship starting a few months ago, right? If you're a radio host, if you're Felger, if you're me, if you're anybody else, should you be lumped in with the prior host and what they did and how they did their job if you do it differently? Of course not. So let's just look at the Elliot Wolf regime. The Patriots this offseason are 10th in the NFL in guaranteed money. They're 6th in fully guaranteed money. They're 5th in first-year cash. Now, if you want to say it's because they spend, money, small money on a bunch of different players, which is what Paul Perillo hit me with on Friday, right? Well, it's the amount of players. The Patriots are top 10 in average annual value. Now, let's play that game. Let's take those numbers And let's take the information that has been legitimately reported by multiple people from the Bay Area, from New England, from in between, across the country. Let's take what has been reported, that the Patriots offered top-tier guaranteed money, offered the best deal. We now know that Brandon Aiyuk signed for $76 million guaranteed. Let's not even say the Patriots. Let's have fun with this hypothetical and say the Patriots did not even pay. They weren't willing to pay what the Niners were willing to pay. Let's say the Patriots gave Brandon Aiyuk $70 million guaranteed. That would make the Patriots top 3, if not top 1, in every single spending category this offseason. But, Nick, they didn't sign Aiyuk. They didn't get the deal done. Whose fault is that? The Patriots offered a package that was accepted by the Niners. And by the way, Bert, he has those details. The Patriots offered a second-round pick in next year's draft, a third-round pick in 26, and Kendrick Bourne. And the Niners said yes. So San Francisco was willing to take the deal. You offered the most money in total and in guarantees. The player didn't want to come here. But if you signed Aiyuk to that money, you would be the top spending team in all the NFL this offseason. And if Calvin Ridley said yes to the $40 million or so guaranteed, you would also be in the top 3 in guaranteed money and in all sorts of spending categories. I'm judging this regime. Now, how do we know? Maybe the Patriots wouldn't have spent that money, Nick. Maybe this is all just delusion. Jeff Howe, buddy of mine at The Athletic, wrote a column recently. It was all about wide receivers and their market and the guaranteed money. When you look across the NFL, guaranteed money for top-tier receivers, when you talk about top-tier guaranteed money like Jeremy Fowler did, what does that mean? That means that you're going to give that receiver about 62% of the total money in guarantees. That's what that means. CeeDee Lamb just signed his contract. Do you know the percentage of guaranteed money he got? 63%. Justin Jefferson, $140 million deal, $88.7 million fully guaranteed, 63%. That's how it works. And so when you call an agent and you're having this phone call and you're talking to a team, there's no way on God's green earth that Aiyuk's agent is going to talk to the Patriots unless they have a legitimate offer on the table, because he goes back to San Francisco to try to get a better deal. He leverages the money on the table from the Patriots to go back to the Niners. So if Jay Stu's phone said that they offered $60 million guaranteed, do you think the Niners would jump $16 million in guaranteed money when it was obvious that the Steelers were not willing to go there? Does that make any sense? Do you think John Lynch and those guys in San Francisco who do their jobs pretty damn well, do you think they would just offer Brandon Aiyuk $16 million more in guaranteed money than the next team? That is all-time awful negotiating. Makes 0.0 sense. 63% of the reported Patriots offer would get you to $80 million guaranteed. Now that makes sense. Now, was it $80 million guaranteed? I don't know. But would it not make sense if the Patriots offered somewhere between $70 and $80 million guaranteed and Aiyuk's agent pivoted and went to San Francisco and said, the Patriots are willing to pay us $70 to $80 million guaranteed. You've got to up your offer. And the Niners responded by giving him $76 million guaranteed. That would make much more sense than the $60 million guaranteed that was just floated out there in the ether. Right? Just common sense. Deductive reasoning. And as Bert said, when you look at contracts in the NFL, the brunt of the guaranteed money comes in the first 2 or 3 years. You don't sign players to contracts that are 3 or 4 years long at $32 million a year and give them like $35, $40 million guaranteed. That doesn't happen. That's not the real world. It doesn't happen. If you're giving a guy 3 years at $90 million, the vast majority of that chunk of money is going to come in the first 2 years of the deal, if not the first year of the deal. And when you look at the Patriots, who are fifth in spending first-year cash this offseason, that's precisely the way they've negotiated. They've actually given money up front this offseason. I know what they did the last 20 years. I get it. I've heard my guy Felger say it roughly 750,000 times. I understand. I'm talking about this offseason and this regime. Brandon Aiyuk's agents are not talking to the Patriots unless it's a serious offer. And if you're the Patriots, you don't call the Niners with an unserious offer because you hurt your reputation around the game. If the Patriots offered $55-60 million to Aiyuk when the market was $75 million, they're going to have a hell of a time trying to negotiate with the next agent or the agent after that. You don't make that phone call if you're Elliot Wolf unless you're 100% serious in acquiring the player, including the money part of it. Because it just doesn't make any sense. You're a first-time GM. You're a first-time GM. Do you think lowballing the best receiver on the trade market is a good start? Do you think that's smart business? Put it to bed. It's nap time. Do the Steph Curry. It's sleepy time on the guaranteed money narrative. By the way, I volunteered to go on Felger and Maz and talk to Mike about this. That has not happened. So I will continue to do shows on 98.5, blistering Mike's narrative until maybe he is welcoming and says, let's have Nick on the show and let's have this debate back and forth. I'd love to have it. But Mike, put it to bed. Burt Breer, Jeremy Fowler, almost a dozen reporters have told you the truth. This is a really bad line right here about you can't handle it. Really bad.
Hey, if you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand right here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.